Welcome back to the Corporate Sister TV. I'm Solange Lopes and I'm the founder of the Corporate Sister website and brand. Today's video is a continuation of the last video in which we were discussing the fear of success for working women. And if you remember in the last video, I asked all of us to really take a pause and think about whether most of the time in our careers, in our business, in our professional pursuits and endeavors, we're facing more of a fear of failure or a fear of success. If we're really afraid of not making it, or if we're actually afraid of making it and the price we would have to pay for making it, for being the successful one, for being the one who reached that level as a working woman and a working mom. And this fear of success is very real. And I dare say it's very real for all of us, from the traditional ways in which we've been socialized to the types of environments that we are in. And our sense of identity permeates different types of environments, different types of contexts, different roles, over all the different responsibilities and the different hats that we wear. And that can make it quite difficult to dare to succeed, right? So today what I wanted to share with you and to discuss were some tools to address this fear of success as working women. It's a very real fear. It's a very understandable fear, one for which we shouldn't blame or judge ourselves, but one that we should learn to become more familiar with, to understand better without judgment, without blame, and one we should learn to tackle one day, one step at a time. I know it's a very real fear. It has been a very real fear for me, as it has for most of us. And this process of learning to understand and to tackle it is one that I'm in as well, as much as most of us are. So some of the tools that I've found really helpful from my conversations with other working women, from my research, from my readings, and just from looking around and looking within as well, are threefold, right? The first thing that I would like to talk about is the knowledge of self, and really knowing who we are as individuals, as women, independently from all of the different hats that we wear, independently from our roles as mothers, as partners, as wives, as employees, CEOs, leaders. Who are you as an individual? And this question about our fundamental sense of identity is so important because, as I mentioned earlier, as women especially, our sense of identity permeates so many layers, from different environments to different contexts, from the professional to the personal, from all of the different responsibilities and roles that we're assigned, that at the end of the day, it can be quite challenging to answer this seemingly simple but not so simple question: who am I? Additionally, our sense of identity changes over time, right? I'm no longer the new mom I used to be over a decade ago. I'm no longer the entry-level employee I used to be a while ago. I'm no longer the college student I used to be, right? So my sense of identity has evolved over time, right? And it's important to periodically take the time to stop and truly ask ourselves, who am I today? Who am I in this season, right? This may be for you a season of career transition. It may be a season of new motherhood. It may be a season of being in a new relationship or redefining your boundaries, both professional and personal. Whatever the season may be for you, it is so important to stop and ask yourself who you are today, and to establish a universal universal sense of identity for yourself that really permeates and goes across and covers all of the different roles and responsibilities you may have, all of the different environments you may be led to be in, and all the different contexts you may be operating in, right? So that's the first element. The second element that I would offer to your consideration is to ask yourself, what does success look like for me and how do I achieve it, right? The very traditional notion and definition of success that so many of us have grown up to and been socialized into has really been a very masculine, quote unquote, definition of success, a very outwardly expression of success that may manifest in maybe, the big house, the great career on the outside, the cars, monetary and financial success. That's kind of the traditional definition of success that we've been socialized to know. But what we're noticing is that there is a rising need to define, especially as working women and working moms, our own definition of success, because we found through experience, through research, through personal introspection, through business findings, that this very traditional and popular definition of success doesn't work for everyone, right? And actually doesn't work for most people. That it is important for us to define, what does success look like for me? And that has to be aligned with, the first question I talked about earlier, who am I, right? Because your definition of success will definitely have to align with your sense of identity in this particular season of your life. In this season of your life, maybe you're a new mom and success for you looks like being able to spend some time with your kids, being able to get some rest while still continuing to grow your career. Maybe while you're in a career transition right now and maybe your kids are older or maybe you don't have any kids, the focus is full blown on your career. So success looks like reaching the next level, getting another 10 or 20 clients or hitting the $1 million mark. And there is nothing wrong with that, as long as that is your true, genuine definition of success and it aligns with who you are in this particular season of your life. After understanding this, after defining without blame, without judgment, what success looks like for you in this season of your life, it becomes important to delineate some steps to achieve that success. And it may look different for each and every one of us. For some of us, it may be cutting down on our hours of work or maybe asking for more flexibility. For others, it may be putting more of a focus on our career and maybe hiring some help on the side to kind of fill the gap between our home life and our work life. And there is nothing wrong, again, about this, right? So these are the first two questions that I invite you to think about as you're putting together your arsenal of tools to combat this fear of success. And these questions are so important to answer because they allow you to understand yourself better and to have a plan that works for you. And a better understanding of self, a plan for who you are and what you want really helps you combat this fear of not being up to par, not being, up to the mark. And last but not least, the last element that I would like to offer for your consideration is to build or integrate a community of like-minded individuals. It is challenging to evolve in a community, in an environment that does not share the same vision, the same ideals, that does not share some of your identity and some of your definition of what success means to you. That can be quite challenging. And many times it is the reason why so many of us shy away from that next step. step, shy away from the full expression of who we are because we are not in the communities, we're not in the groups that are adequate for us. So it becomes important to find and or to build those communities of like-minded individuals where we can find other people, other women, other working women and moms like us that share some of our visions, some of our ideals, and with which we can share ideas and that we can use and that can use us as well. This is a back and forth exchange as sounding boards, as sources of counsel, support, and encouragement. These are the three elements that I wanted to discuss in this video. I meant for this to be a little shorter, but it went a little longer. But I hope it would help in starting to build the foundation to provide us with the tools to combat this fear of success. So as a quick recap, right, the first element being a better knowledge of self in this particular season of our lives. The second element being defining what success looks like for us in this season, right? And making sure that it aligns with who we are, with our sense of identity, and starting to define some steps towards achieving that definition of success. And last but not least, building and or finding / integrating a community of like-minded individuals that can provide the support, the encouragement, right, and the momentum to keep going towards achieving our own definition of success, being more in alignment with who we are on purpose, right, and growing and evolving into the most impactful versions of ourselves. I hope these tools, or at least the foundation provided by these tools, can help you as it is helping me in combating the fear of success as a working woman and a working mom. I'd be curious to know your perspective, your journey, and your experience on the matter. Please feel free to email us at corporate@thecorporatesister. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.